Alright, what's going on guys? I'm back with another install video on the Mustang. Today is a Maximum Motorsports steering shaft. So one of the reasons why I'm installing it is because I do want better steering response, and this shaft is supposed to do that, which I think it will. The stock shaft has a rubber U-joint that usually gets worn out. The Maximum Motorsports steering shaft does not have one. It's a solid one, so it won't get worn out, and well, it's supposed to not get worn out. And you know, it reduces play, blah blah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out the old shaft, and then I'll compare them side by side so you guys can see the differences, and then also show you guys how to take out the old shaft as well. Okay, so first you want to crawl underneath your dash, and that's your steering shaft right there. You want to remove those two bolts right there. Sorry if the camera's shaky, kind of a one-man crew recording this, but you want to take out those two bolts, and under your dash there's one more bolt you need to remove. I'm going to show you that right now. There is the second bolt right there. You want to remove that bolt as well, and so it's only 3 bolts under your dash. You have to remove the first 2 I showed in the last clip, and then that last bolt right there. Okay guys, so after you take off those bolts, there's one bolt right over there. I'm zooming out of that bolt. Sorry if it's blurry again, but yeah, so that connects your steering shaft to the power steering rack. So basically we're going to go ahead and disconnect that bolt to completely remove the steering rack itself. Okay guys, so here on the table I have the 2 shafts. Before I go to comparing these two, I just want to explain something about the old shaft. On the old shaft, if you have the shorty headers or stock manifolds, removing it will be a lot easier. But if you do not, if you have long tube headers like how I do, it'll be a little bit more difficult to removing it. So just a quick reminder, this piece right here, it actually moves up and down. So that'll be essential to when you're removing the shaft. When you're moving it from underneath the dash, you're actually gonna have to push this down. So it's like that, it'll come out a lot easier. If you have it up like this, it's not gonna come out. Of course, same thing with the bottom part. This also moves in and out. This part doesn't really matter as much when you're doing for like removing it. This is a little bit more important, but maybe you might have to do the same thing over here. Next, I'll go ahead and compare this shaft to this shaft. This is the stock one right here. This one is the Maximum Motorsports that I got off of LMR.com. You can also get it off American Muscle or Amazon or wherever, but I ordered it off LMR. So first thing you notice is at the very end of both shafts, this is the stock shaft, has a rubber joint right here. So this rubber joint tends to wear down, and if you have long tube headers like how I do, it gives a little bit of a clearance issue. It will touch your header sometimes, and the heat from the headers will actually melt down this joint, this rubber joint, making it wear out a lot faster. However, the Maximum Motorsports has a U-joint. That's why it's flexible like this, and it is fully solid, preventing it from, you know, being worn down like how a rubber one can. Obviously this can still break, you know, knock on wood, but you know, it's not going to be worn down as fast as this. Next thing I'm going to point out is about the Maximum Motorsport shaft. It is really good quality. It's made really well. It is $300, so you know, you're paying for what you get. Also, Maximum Motorsports is really good at making suspension parts for Mustangs. Next thing I'm going to point out is kind of hard to show you guys through the camera. It's more of a kind of a feel thing, but if I grab this and just move this joint around right here compared to this one right here, this one just feels a lot more solid than this one. Obviously you guys can't really tell through, you know, watching me through a video. It's something you have to feel with your own hands. But yeah, this one just feels a lot more solid. It's supposed to improve your steering response and just make it a lot more solid. I do have a aftermarket steering wheel, which is a lot smaller, which does help with steering response. So now I'm curious to see how it'll be with this shaft. That's about it for comparing it, you know, just side by side like this. Now, you know, I'm gonna go ahead and throw it on the car. I'm gonna take it for a test drive, see how it feels. Some people said it doesn't make too much of a difference. Some people said it does make a nice difference. You know, we'll see. I know it will eliminate a lot of the play. The actual steering response, I'm not really 200% or, you know, 100% sure about that. But we'll see when we test drive it. Alright guys, so it's officially the next day. I actually had to continue to install the next day because I got busy with stuff, blah blah. Anyways, the Maximum Motorsports steering shaft is officially in. and it actually killed the play completely, meaning that there's no play now from the steering wheel. Steering response did get better, so it feels pretty good now. I want to go ahead and show you guys the amount of play, well, the amount of no play the car has now. So here's a little bit of a better angle. I am moving the steering wheel barely moving the steering wheel, and the wheel is moving as well. Before, when I would do this, when I would move the steering wheel basically like that, the wheel would not move at all. Like I said, it might be hard to see on camera, but the wheel is moving with the steering wheel. It actually has no play at all now, which feels a lot better. It's a lot better than the stock steering shaft. And like I said earlier, I highly recommend getting a new steering wheel as well. So my overall input on the Maximum Motorsports steering shaft, I'm gonna say it's a pretty good modification to do to these cars. Install, it wasn't too difficult. It was practically pretty easy. If you have long tube headers, like I said earlier in the video, if you have long tube headers, it'll be a little bit more difficult. If you don't have long tube headers, you have shorties or just a stock exhaust manifold, it will be a lot easier for you. Is it worth the $300? I would say it's kind of a tough question to answer. It kind of depends on you, what you're going for with your car. If you're going for straight drag racing, maybe not. If you're going for autocross and drifting like how I am, then I would say yes to make the purchase. I still think it's priced a little bit too high, but I mean, it's really good quality, so maybe it is a good price. I don't know. But yeah, I highly recommend getting this for your car. But other than that, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this video helped you. If you don't drive a Mustang, probably didn't help you at all. Alright, okay, bye.